going to show you guys inside my Misfits Market box. The storms that came through and affected the South greatly meant that this shipment was delayed by several days. So we're going to see what it looks like when your shipment gets delayed. It was supposed to be here Wednesday. It is now Saturday, almost noon. Amazingly, this is still mostly solid, so I am going to be very optimistic. Other times it has not been that way. Okay. So first thing, oh yeah, I can see some issues. This was an add-on Terra chips. I'm not worried about those. They're shelf stable. Unfortunately, it looks like a lot of my produce that was coming, anything that was more sensitive and needed to get here faster is going to be an issue. Like lettuce, it is frozen, has that look. So some of this stuff I'm going to be reporting. They've usually been really good about things. Oh, I'm kind of bummed. All right, so you can see all of my, anything that's green, any of the greens, just complete wilted and garbage, which is unfortunate. They normally are not that way. And it looks like I would have had some nice Swiss chard, but it looks like it was left in the garden overnight for frost. Same with, I might be able to salvage, because you can freeze zucchini and yellow squash. But I joke not, this stuff is ice cold. That ice pack held. It didn't get too warm, but the problem is it also wasn't very warm out, so it had issues. All right. I am hoping my citrus is still okay. Have some grapefruits. Then these are going to be questionable. I had some tomatoes. Okay, so the tomatoes might be okay. I'm going to be optimistic about that. Although this one got rather, you can see it got rather squished. Worst case for tomatoes, they're going into a stew. And we've got some pears. Nice little bit of pears, hopefully. Same thing, certain things you can freeze and still use. Unfortunately, the greens are not one of them. So it looks like they sent me 6 pears. A couple of lovely bunches of broccoli. And the broccoli seems, because partly because it was packed towards the bottom. It is, I don't know if you can see this. Let me try this. I don't know if you can see this. It is quite frozen down here. So we'll see. I might just be making that for at dinner time tonight and being hopeful. Got a couple of onions. Onions that look okay. Nice head of cabbage that, as far as I can tell, looks okay. Like I said, this was, this was at the very bottom, so it wasn't directly near that ice. Okay, got an acorn squash that looks fine. Unfortunately, my mangoes are complete mush. I mean, like, we're not talking like just that they're frozen. They are complete mush for that. So I'm reporting those. Beets are usually pretty good about being cold, so I'm not worried about those. They are probably still fine. Same with, I believe it was supposed to be sweet potatoes, but maybe it's yams. I can never remember the difference, and I feel like I should. But this time we got a nice little bit. I don't know if you guys saw my previous video where I got 6 little baby, like literally baby bites of potato that you wouldn't have been able to even have for more than a single serving. And last thing is just a couple more onions. So yeah, like I said, it's let's kind of take a visual look here at everything. All right, so the stuff that looks fine, the onions look fine, the get my hand out of there. Sweet potatoes look fine. The broccoli one of them was more frozen on the stalk, it still might be fine because you can freeze broccoli. Acorn squash looks okay. Pears, maybe. Grapefruit, hopefully. Then we've got the beets, look fine. The cabbage, probably fine. Zucchini and yellow squash, gonna have to be used really quickly. I don't know if you can see. It is, some of these are complete frozen, but you can freeze those things and cook them, so I'm not so worried about that. The stuff that didn't survive, the mangoes that are smashed to smithereens and probably froze and thawed and who knows what, but I mean, that is just, nobody would be selling that in a store. The Swiss chard, unfortunately, is all completely freezer. Same with all of the lettuce that looks like it would have been great. And then, like I said, this, I don't know if you can tell, see the frost and everything on it. This one thing of broccoli, I think it'll still be okay and be edible. There you have it, my late February Misfit Market. Oh, and the tomatoes. Because they're packaged this way, I think it kept them from freezing, but tomatoes are something else you could freeze, so if I need to just use them for sauce, I will. So this is what my Misfits Market box for, you know, late February looks like when it was delayed by 3 days. So 3 days sitting, stuff like the greens, the ice pack had one little piece of insulation, but otherwise it was sitting right there on top. So it's no wonder that they froze with it being so cold up in Tennessee where it sat for 3 days before coming down here. So all weather related, it's all going to get reported, and I will leave a comment on here as far as what the company did. Thanks.